the difference between charity and solidarity, or walking alongside somebody. And I think they really got that part too. We talked a lot about that there's two parts, and both are important: service and mission, where you help right there where help is needed, right in front of you, like thinking of sending the toys to the children. And then there's looking up the stream, so to speak, to see why the people are hungry, or why the kids don't have enough. And so economic injustice, or things about picking up trash, but why is the environment deteriorating? So I think, did you guys get that part pretty well? Yeah, I think so. And then we talked about extravagant welcome, which, as you could hear, seems to really strike most of them as one of our most profound things we do at Church of the Savior, and I would have to agree with that. But they all came up with that in some ways in their writing, that they felt welcomed here. Their families felt welcomed here, but they personally feel welcomed by all of you. So we're doing the extravagant welcome thing well. So I would say good on ya. And then we talked about the UCC and history of this church and history of the UCC. So they had a small lesson on that. We looked at some of the commercial ads that the UCC has put out in the past, which seem kind of funny now, but they were really kind of, there's one where, I don't know if you guys remember, but people are coming into a church and there's a bouncer outside the door, and he's going, you in, and then a brown person comes and he goes, nope, no way, and then he puts people out who are not like everybody else in the church. And so that ad got turned away from the Super Bowl, I think. But they got a kick out of that part, and they learned some things about that. The UCC is the denomination of firsts. So we talked about, we go back to Puritans, so there's a long lineage in one of the four parts of the UCC history. And we ordained the first African-American minister. We ordained the first woman. We ordained the first openly gay minister in 1973, that long ago. And our church as a whole came out in favor of marriage equality in 2006. And they saw the vote. We watched a video that showed the vote for that, and how it was really discussed and faithfully discussed by people who didn't know whether that was the right thing, people who thought it was the right thing. It wasn't just some simple process, and they got to see part of that. And then I'll have to let John share with you about the weekend last weekend, because I've had a little string of sort of bad luck. I was sick last weekend and missed one of my favorite things to do with them, which is to go to Narrow Ridge for the closing retreat. You get to see a lot about how to care for creation as part of caring for each other. Caring for the earth is just as important. So they got to see a lot of that in a place that's off the grid and tries to walk as lightly on the earth as possible. And I'll let John share what they did there, because I missed it. But I really, really am proud of these kids, and I love them. Some of them I've known since they've been little, when I was teaching Sunday school, and some newer, but they are it's just kind of mind-blowing how thoughtful they are about things.